For the last couple of weeks, we have witnessed headlines such as these, and also footages such as these. Violent clashes between the two countries erupted on 5th of May in eastern Ladakh as both parties patrolled the border on their side. As many as 11 soldiers were left injured after a heated face-off in the Lakula sector in Sikkim on 8th of May. At least in 4 places, Pangong Tso, Demchok and Galwan Valley in the Ladakh sector and Nakula in the Sikkim sector had witnessed skirmishes such as these. Yes, we are talking about the ongoing border conflict between India and China. So, what is the exact problem regarding the border disputes between these countries? In this video, we will seek to find out exact the same. So, without any further delay, let's begin.
Hello viewers, if you are new to our channel, don't forget to watch our other videos, the link of which will be in the description below. India and China, two historical neighbors with historical border disputes. India and China shares a whopping 3,488 km of territorial border. The entire Sino-Indian border is divided into 3 distinct sectors. The eastern sector consists of the Union Territory of Ladakh and the state of Himachal Pradesh. The middle sector consists of the state of Sikkim, and the eastern sector consists of the state of Arunachal Pradesh. And all the 3 sectors are disputed territories. Yes, all the 3 sectors are disputed. This seems quite weird, but when you know that China has border disputes with all 14 of its neighbors, things become quite acceptable. So in this video, we will discuss the historical aspect of the Indo-Sino border dispute. To begin with, let us start with the historical aspect of India's border dispute with China in the Arunachal Pradesh sector. In order to understand the dispute between India and China in the Arunachal sector, we need to step back in time to the year 1913 and 1914. During that time, India was not India but British India, and China and Tibet were 2 different countries. During that time, the representatives of China, Tibet and British India negotiated a treaty in India which is known as the Shimla Convention. Sir Henry McMahon, the Foreign Secretary of British India at that time, drew up the 890 km McMahon Line as the border between British India and Tibet. This was drawn primarily on the highest watershed principle and demarcated what had previously been unclaimed and undefined borders between British India and the Tibet. The Tibetan and the British government agreed to the border, but the Chinese rejected it. The McMahon Line was forgotten until 1935, when the British government decided to publish the documents in the 1937 edition of Aitchison's collection of treaties. This McMahon Line was adhered to by the Indian administration at the time of independence in 1947. But after the Communist Revolution in China in the year 1948, it redefined the border and stretched its southern border up to the edge of Assam. China recognized Arunachal Pradesh as South Tibet, that is an integral part of China and not a part of India. The dispute between India and China aggravated after China captured Tibet. China firmly contested that Arunachal Pradesh was their territory as South Tibet, but the Indian government outrightly rejected it. This conflict in the Arunachal sector was one of the main ingredients that triggered the 1962 Indo-China War. During the war, Chinese troops had entered at vast areas in Arunachal Pradesh, but they slowly receded back to the McMahon Line. This was the historical aspect of the border dispute in the Arunachal sector. In the coming years, many new developments took place, for which a new separate video will be required. Let us now travel west and clear our doubt regarding the border dispute in the Sikkim sector. Sikkim was an independent monarchy state up until the year 1975, when, after a mass public referendum, it became the 22nd state in India. Traditionally, China claimed the entire region of Sikkim as well as Bhutan as its own territory. Yes, China claims the entire state of Sikkim as its own territory. The Sikkim Valley is of great strategic importance as this gives China access to the so-called Chicken Neck or the Siliguri Corridor, that is a small mass of land which connects the entire northeastern region of India to the mainland. Due to this territorial dispute, India and China were locked in a 73-day standoff in the Doklam Plateau in this region. The main reason for the conflict was that the Chinese had been building military installations in this region which goes against the international rules. Moreover, Bhutan does not have any sort of diplomatic relations with Beijing, and India stands as a security guarantor to Bhutan. This is the entire point of dispute in the Sikkim sector between India and China. Finally, let us discuss the border dispute in the Ladakh sector. Things in the Ladakh sector gets very interesting. The map over here is extremely confusing. From some point of view, the map is like this, for others like this, and for others it is somewhere like this. From India's perspective, this is supposed to be the international border. But the entire area is not under Indian administration. The line of actual control passes from somewhere here, and the eastern region of the line of control is under Chinese occupation. This land under the Chinese administration is known as Aksai Chin, and it is about 38,000 square kilometers. Also moving towards the north, in this region, as you can see, about 5,180 square kilometers of land was practically gifted by Pakistan to China under the Pakistan-China Boundary Agreement of 1962. This gift was more like a dowry agreement. But in recent years, the stance of China regarding the line of actual control has also become quite aggressive. The line of actual control, or the LAC, is not a properly demarcated boundary line. That means it is not separated by border. It does not have any distinct geographical features as well. So it becomes very difficult to predict which side is India and which side is China. The Chinese troops take advantage of this confusion to enter deep into the Indian territory, sometimes as deep as 45 to 50 kilometers. It is for these tensions that on 5th May, the conflict erupted here in the Pangong Tso region on the Pangong Lake. The India-China border is not properly demarcated. That is, it does not have any boundary fencing. Rather, at various places, it has just a few boards demarcating that this side is India and this side is China. China takes advantage of this lack of demarcation to enter deep into the Indian territory, sometimes as deep as 45 to 50 kilometers. It is when the Chinese troops enter the Indian territory that clashes erupt as Indian forces try to stop them. The similar clashes in this region took place on 5th May near the Pangong Tso region, over which the line of actual control passes. China maintains its control over Aksai Chin ever since the 1962 Sino-Indian War. This region, Ladakh region, is of great strategic importance for China as it connects Tibet to the southern Xinjiang province. This is all regarding the border dispute in the Ladakh sector. Now, for the brevity of your understanding, let us sum up the entire border dispute with the help of this flowchart. In the Ladakh sector, China claims the entire Ladakh region and India claims Aksai Chin, which is administered by China. In the Sikkim sector, China claims Sikkim, which is administered by India. In the Arunachal sector, for India, the boundary between India and China is McMahon line, and for China up to the Assam border. That is, India administers over Arunachal Pradesh, which is claimed by China as the part of southern Tibet. This is pretty much all regarding the border dispute between China and India. Various developments followed in the recent years, for which a separate video will be required. If you guys are interested, we will definitely be back with a follow-up episode. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like it, mention your thoughts in the comment section below, and also share the video. Subscribe to our channel, The Ironical Sanguinity. Also follow us on social media, the links of which will be there in the description. That's it for today. This is TIS bidding goodbye.